Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping parents and juniors navigate through the journey of junior golf. From fitness to mental coaching, we cover it all on this podcast. Here's your host, Ro Thompson.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Ro Thompson. And as always, we got a special guest on the podcast tonight. None other than Hampton Clark. Hampton runs the underrated golf tour across the country. What's going on, Hamp?
What's up, bro? How you been, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for agreeing to do this. And man, before we get started, man, I can't thank you and the underrated staff enough for what you guys do across the country. I know it's not easy, but man, y'all get up every day and go at it, and you make sure the kids have what they need. So thank you, man.
Of course, we like to do it, especially for the kids. Always for the kids.
Great. And I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot more parents too, as well.
Love it.
Good. Well, listen, man, before we get into some junior golf and what, some great things that y'all are doing around the country, tell us how give us your backstory and how you got into this great game of golf.
Yeah, it's kind of not conventional the way I got into the sport of golf. I was a baseball guy growing up, kind of the first and only sport that was put in my hand growing up. Just kind of stuck with it. My mom was a big, hey, pick one thing and that's what you got to do. And so it just happened to be baseball. So played that all throughout my childhood from probably about 7 years old all the way through college. Went to a school in Kentucky, University of Cumberland's, was grateful enough to get a scholarship from there and play 4 years of some great college ball up there in Kentucky. Originally from Georgia as well, so just kind of the sport of baseball there is big, a lot bigger than a lot of the sports there. You might have football, a little bit of basketball, but baseball is a huge sport up there. So trying to get into that early was huge for me. And like I said, just being able to get a college scholarship and play baseball too is kind of a big blessing as well. Like all kids who want to play, ball in college, their ultimate goal is to go pro. And here I am, 140, 150 pounds soaking wet, also having that same dream.
Right.
But my mom was a realist. She supported whatever I wanted to do, but she was also like, what are you going to do in life? And so I think it was around junior year in college. She was like, love this dream of yours. Time to get a job as well. So started looking at internships. I knew I wanted to work in sports. I didn't really know what it was. Kind of like in the social media, creative business like that at first. So I actually got a internship at the Golf Channel. My cousin, he works there, so he was able to kind of hook it up. And it's always great to know who you know and kind of take those handouts whenever you get on. I mean, I don't think there's
That's right.
anything bad about getting a little help in life, so I appreciate kind of that opportunity. But got a summer internship there, and that was my first taste of golf. I mean, I knew about Tiger Woods. Pretty much every black kid knows about Tiger Woods in some capacity, but that was pretty much all I knew about golf. And so, like I said, at the end of the day, I just wanted a job in sport. So if it was golf, cool. If not, at least I have some type of experience now. Golf Channel is very highly, regarded in the space. So this was definitely going to help me out. But there I am, every day, Monday through Friday, sitting and, living and breathing golf. So I was either going to love it or I was going to hate it. But also I didn't want to waste my time and kind of be bored and kind of hate the whole internship itself. So I said, let me go ahead and buy in and kind of see what this golf thing is about. And we had a golf simulator probably 2 doors down from my cubicle. Then, golf was on all the time. So I snuck over there as much as I could. And like I said, I think once I got that first club in my hand, kind of fell in love with the sport and just wanted to know more. I mean, it was new. I'm a competitive guy, so especially something that was new, I can kind of teach myself and get going and kind of have some fun with some friends was definitely a big deal for me. And that's why I kind of kept with it. And then from there, went to, once I graduated college, went on to the AJGA, did an internship for them, worked 2 years full time after that. And then that's kind of how my journey with the underrated golf tours begun after my time at the AJGA.
Yeah, so you literally went from hitting or pitching speed balls to tournament operations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was your position?
I played outfield in high school all the way throughout high school. And then when I got to college, they started throwing harder. So I forgot how to hit. Luckily, I threw decently hard myself. So I decided to be a pitcher. So I was a pitcher all throughout college. Relief, I think freshman year, I got like some midweek starts for like the kind of lower competition teams, but just someone, save our best guys for the weekend. So I got to start on the freshman, sophomore year. Then kind of once I got a more prominent role, I was kind of in the bullpen for the weekends.
Good. Now, how did you get the connection from AJ to the underrated tour? How did that match itself?
Yeah, it was kind of great timing. I mean, I've been there for 3 years, and a big thing about the
Mhm.
AJGA is they're really getting you ready for the next step, whatever that's in golf or just in sports itself. So I was ready
Right.
for a next chapter. I was looking for new opportunities, and literally, I was actually playing golf. I actually took an off day, was on the golf course, and my boss called me and said, "Hey, got this cool opportunity with Stephen Curry starting this golf tour to look for someone to kind of run the operations. What do you
Mhm.
say?" Like, there's no guarantee, but what do you say? We can get your name in for an interview or something like that. I said, honestly, I mean, once you said Stephen Curry, I mean,
You gotta say yes.
for me being a fan at that point, I was like, hey, of course, like let's see where this goes. So yeah, interviewed it. And it ended up being an actual job with at the time CSM. Now they've kind of been bought out by Watchmen Live. But that's actually ended up being a job with them, kind of running their
Okay.
production from that standpoint with the branding, logistics behind the scenes too. So it actually wasn't even specifically with Stefan's company until I moved over there full time this past year.
That's great. That's great, man. So, man, what would you say has been your biggest learning curve, going from AJ to the underrated tour? Because it's a lot of logistics. One of the things that I learned by John being on the tour is that it's a lot that goes into planning and everything that y'all do. So, what's the biggest thing you've had to adjust to?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is actually learning operations. The thing is kind of crazy. In the AJGA, I was on the social team, so I was on the communications team. Doing signage, doing social media posts, kind of covering events from that standpoint. The AJGA does a great job of kind of learning all aspects of the tour and all aspects of kind of golf. So I was able to kind of learn and be a sponge without being actually ingrained in the operations side. But then once you step in, and you're actually the guy. Just kind of learning from everybody around you as well. So kind of learning kind of the motions, kind of going through everything that needs to go on, and then kind of that time management role as well. I think with social media, with creative, you're always looking for something quick, like whatever the trends is, and just get it on, get it out, and kind of see what happens. With operations, there's a lot more playing to it. There's a lot more timelines that need to kind of get that need to get thought about. And I think for me personally, I was always like, hey, I got a couple of days. That should be enough time. And then I talked to different vendors and stuff like that. It's like, oh, by the way, it's a 6 week, a 2 month turnaround. So now I'm kind of scrambling, trying to figure out what's a good backup plan because I wasn't thinking of kind of like the bigger picture, more of like, hey, now that I'm thinking about it, anybody else should be able to get it done for me. And that was kind of the biggest mistake I probably have done when I first
Right.
started.
Gotcha. But you've adjusted well, and I think you've gone up the ladder a little bit. Now, what was your first feeling when Steph mentioned, you know, what he wanted to do and who he wanted to bring in and the golf courses we had to play, and what was your first you know, feeling about it?
I thought it was a great opportunity. I thought it was different. I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing that with underrated we're trying to be is different. There are a lot of junior golf tours out there, junior golf tours that are doing a great job of what they're trying to do, but just kind of this mission, kind of what Stefan has done behind it, and kind of the partners we've gotten behind it. It's just different. Yes, we have elite golfers, but we're also trying to give that access opportunity to kids that might not get that opportunity if they were to stay in their hometowns. And the fact that that's the sole mission and that's what we base all of our decisions and kind of like I said, places we go. I think that's huge for us too because we never stray away from that mission. We don't ever want to be a money grabber or hey, we just want to get the best courses with no mission behind it. We just want to get as
Right.
much money as we can from all these partners. Like no, everything that we do is based off of Steph's vision and then the vision of the entire tour.
Yeah, one of the things I like about what y'all do, Hamp, is not only do y'all, you know, y'all give the kids access, but y'all also do some community give back. And that's
Correct.
like every stop that we make, y'all have a session where you bring in local junior golfers and we give back to them. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I mean the coolest part of this tour, which you know for sure, is we cover all the expenses. So we do all the hotels, food and beverage, travel, golf fees, whatever you guys usually pay for a junior golf weekend, we take care of all that.
Unbelievable.
Um and so for the first year and two, it's kind of cool, kind of shiny new thing, like, hey, we're kind of getting this break, parents wise, kids wise. But then we thought, hey, if the kids are getting this break, it's time for them to also give back to the community as well. Like we have too many opportunities. We go to too many places around the country, around the world, even kind of branching out to Europe to where there's chances for these kids to give back. And so, I mean, the easiest thing to start with is golf. They play golf. The kids play golf. They know how to teach the golf. whether it's, whether it's first couple years in the sport of golf, they still know enough to teach kids who have never seen the sport. So just kind of giving back to our community, let us kind of leaving a stamp of underrated wherever we are, just letting them know that, hey, this is a junior golf tour. There are opportunities in golf. And if we are the reasons why, 5 to 10 new kids get, put onto the game of golf, I think that's great because who knows where that can go in the future. We could, I could have someone come up to me 15 years from now and say, hey, I was just on the driving range with you guys for a random event in Palm Springs. And now here I am, on the AJJ tour. Now I am trying to get on y'all's tour. So I think that's
Yeah.
a huge thing. It's kind of showing these kids that, yes, when you receive much, you also have to give back and kind of keep that train moving. So just kind of infiltrating that into our program each week is definitely a staple that we have to do, that we must do. And we're always going to do it from here on out.
Yeah, that's great. The community give back y'all have. Now, a lot of people get underrated and underprivileged mixed up a little bit. Talk to our audience about what's the difference in the two.
Yeah, I think underprivileged. I think a lot of people kind of see the poor background. They come from a bad background, maybe where they're from isn't the best, living situations. And they just think it's kind of a charity or a handout that we're trying to do and try to help them. And I think what we try to, reiterate for our tour is that we try to help anybody who's underrepresented, which is they have the talent, they have the skills, but they may not have the means, the resources, the access to be great. People come from great neighborhoods, great families, great, circumstances where they can do whatever they want to do. But as we know, that's not always possible for everybody. So we're actually out there to kind of sort out and pick, hand select these kids that have the skills. They can go D1 golf, they can go pro if they really work at it. They can get a golf scholarship, wherever, as long as we kind of give them the resource and they kind of take it up and be serious with that. So I think, like I said, that difference is we're not just attacking the poor and kind of don't know where they're going. We kind of attack the ones that have a little bit of interest. Now, how can we kind of boost their background, boost what they have around them and make them successful?
That's good. So Hamp, when y'all are like scouting and you're actually selecting these athletes, what's a non-stat trait that y'all are looking for? Like a diamond in the rough. I mean, what type of things y'all look for in these junior golfers?
It's definitely the attitude. I mean, you
Okay.
you really have to take a chance with. I mean, we're 5 years in now, so I think we've kind of got a really good kind of credibility to our name. But I mean, you think year one, year two, even year three, you got a Will Lowry, a Jason Richards, myself coming up to a random junior golf like, hey, starting a whole new golf tournament, golf tour,
Yeah.
whole new golfers. We're trying to do something different. What do you say? And they're like, like what is this really about? So it's kind of having that attitude and kind of trusting us with what we're trying to do and the resources we're trying to give you guys, and just having a good good spout about it. Because like I said, everything that we do that is like a family. So we're together 24/7. So just kind of buying into what we're trying to do and using the resources that we provide to the best of your advantage. I think that's huge for us, and also the families as well. Because like I said, we're all together 24/7. So as much as you want to, get along with the kids and kind of, have fun with them and make them better, we're also around the parents as well. So just kind of making sure that the family is kind of understand what we're trying to do and can respect what we're trying to do on behind the scenes and even when we're on site.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay Rich. Shout out to Steph Curry for everything that y'all are doing. Um, you even got parents out here recruiting. I think I recruited a kid for y'all out of North Carolina by the name of Blake Fowler. Shout out to Blake. He'll be with y'all this summer. And so Hamp, when you look at equity, access, and opportunity, which one of those you feel like is the toughest to tackle? Like what's the hardest of those pillars that seems to be the most challenging?
I think for me personally, it's that access. I mean,
Okay.
even for me personally, like I said, I didn't hear about golf. Like Golf Channel wasn't just on my TV, it was ESPN, and they weren't talking about that unless the Masters on. I'm like, why is this golf tournament taking up a week of my ESPN time? So like that's the only thing I kind of heard from about golf. And
Right.
so I was also thinking about people from my background, from the Black and brown community, from any community, like, is that the same thing for them? Or maybe they're trying to get into the sport, but they don't have the access to a course. They don't have access to a coach. They don't have access to equipment, whatever it might be. And the fact that you kind of need a lot of those things in golf to be successful, if not all of them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, to even kind of start. So the fact that you need all those just to kind of be in the room is real
Right.
tough, especially on kids and parents who might not know golf as well. So now they're trying to figure out how can I learn myself as a parent and also give my kids the best kind of route and the best pathway to be successful when I don't even know that much about the sport either.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fact. And so, we've been to some of the greatest golf courses over the last 3, 4, 5 years. Um, how do you all get TPC Sawgrass or Liberty National to allow you all to bring in 100 junior golfers from across the country and just come and do the thing that they love, which is the practice and play? How do y'all convince these super top-notch, high-level golf courses to bring us in?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the mission. Like I said, every decision that we make is based off the mission, giving these kids access and opportunities to the best out there in the world of golf. So that even includes the courses we partner with. So when we go to these courses, we say, hey, this is what we're bringing. Honestly, me personally, I don't know about the rest of the staff, but I don't even mention Stefan's name until I feel like they're bought in what we're trying to do with the actual mission. So I'm saying, hey, we're bringing these 100 kids from all across the country. Kind of have they're great golfers. We're not bringing a charity. They just want to compete and be on the best golf courses. You're one of the top golf courses in the world. We have some of the top juniors in the world. Let's kind of come together and build this community up. And like I said, if they kind of have that buy-in, a lot of these courses have kind of a youth initiative already. So they're trying to look for other ways to kind of build in on that, what they're already doing. So you kind of have two different parties that come together and have the same mission. I mean, that just makes the event itself a lot better because, like I said, it's not just a money grab for them. It's not just, hey, we just want to go on the best courses so we can, put it up on Instagram and say, hey, we're going to Sawgrass, we're going to Liberty National, we're going to TPC San Antonio, whatever it might be. We actually have a reason and a meaning behind it for why we're there. And like I said, the kids benefit. They may see it as, hey, we need to play on the best golf courses as well. But what we see on the back end, and even hopefully while they're on site, is that, hey, the staff, the members, everybody who's involved with this event really cares about them and want to see them help or want to see them grow in the sport of golf and in life as well.
Yeah, we've had some unbelievable stops. Talking about the park, you talking about Old Barnwell, for French Lick. I mean, just unbelievable courses that we've been able to play. So shout out to you and the staff for what y'all do to get access to these courses. Now the Underrated Tour y'all got some great sponsors like United Airlines, KPMG, Fujikara, Subway, all of these different sponsors, man. How do y'all convince these corporate partnerships to actually, sponsor these kids and, just be able to do something to benefit the kids? How do y'all convince these big corporations to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think we like to target corporations that are one already in golf and two have the same mission that we have, whether it's helping juniors, just helping people in their audience kind of be better in life and kind of give them access and opportunity to wherever they want to do. And so when you start talking about the KPMGs, who's all over the sport of golf, talking about United, who's all over pretty much all sports,
Ladies,
KPMG as
yeah,
well. Exactly. So we already kind of attacked these companies that maybe we have personal relationships with, that Stefan had personal relationships with, and said, hey, like I said, this is the mission, is what we're trying to do. You guys can get behind and kind of be the pioneers or the start of what we do and then kind of see where we go off from, for the next 5 or 6 years. And I think kind of that buy-in with, like I said, their mission, our mission, putting that together, you kind of get a real cool partnership. And I think a good thing that, Jay Rich has taught me all the time, he talks about it all the time, we don't like to call them sponsors. Sponsors is
okay,
kind of more of sponsors
partners,
kind of
yeah,
more of part, yeah. Sponsors
yeah,
more give us your money, we'll give you some social, and that's it. But
right,
partners, you kind of really get boots on the ground with everything we want to do. Like we have our partners at a summit each year via Zoom. It's like, hey, this is what happened this year. How can we make it better for you guys? How do you think we can, upgrade the program itself? And like I said, it's a real collaborative effort between all parties to make sure that both sides are really kind of seeing the mission kind of be, it's trying to see the mission actually be lived out in real time.
right. So I know I know you had an opportunity to probably collaborate with Steph. What's he like to work with and you know come up with this collaboration and what are some non-negotiables that he's have and talk to us a little bit about working closely to Steph.
Yeah, working with Stefan is great. I think just like the mission, every decision we make, he has a say in it. So, as far as where the courses are, as far as apparel, as far as kind of what our mission we want to focus on this year throughout social, we take it to him all the time, and he gives his ideas. He's involved with the summit, so he's very involved. Even though he's out there trying to win a championship, he has his other
Right.
kind of requirements that he has with his other partners and stuff like that. He loves golf. He loves underrated, so he's going to make sure that what we're doing fits his vision and fits what's going to help these kids out the most. And so I think some non-negotiables with him is like we're never going to take a step back. I mean,
Okay.
we want the best for these kids. We want, to get them on the top course. We want to get them all the resources that they need. And it's on us, the staff, to get that. If we have a bump in the road where we kind of have to pivot, we need to pivot and make sure that we're not taking a step back. I think I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, but I think each year kind of how we've elevated the course we went to, kind of the experience that we've given the kids. We kind of sit back every year around October, November when we finish the season. Like, all right, we've done this. How are we going to elevate this year? Because we know Stephanie, we know the kids and the families aren't going to accept us kind of taking a step back each year. So it's a good challenge. It's a fun challenge just because you kind of have a boss of that caliber, of that high up in the statute, really caring about the grassroots, and kind of being boots on the ground with us as well.
That's good. That's good. Now, I know you can't give us like all the courses y'all playing at, and you can just even can you just give us a hint to maybe one course that y'all playing at? You don't have to tell us where, but you may say, well, it's here or there, or, something to get the listeners excited.
It's funny because when I was down on the PJ show, all of our Florida golfers, they like to come out. So they ran into me like, hey, same question. Hey, give us a hint. Where are we gonna go? And I was like, well, we're gonna be in the US. Like we will be in
Right.
the US for
we,
4 stops.
we know that now. Right.
But no, I think we're actually gonna release the schedule here in March. So it's coming
Okay.
up. But I can say we are going to the Northeast region, which we haven't been yet,
Yeah.
besides the Curry Cup.
Okay, like
Um,
Liberty, I've been to Liberty and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So like my biggest push this year was, we got our top 30 kids that get to go to the Curry Cup in New York every year. They get to see the Northeast, but we have yet to go as a full kind of 100 tour staff. So kind of
Right.
getting them to see that different side of the country, that different side of the states is kind of huge for us too. So we will be up there. We will be kind of hitting up a really cool spot, and it kind of knocks off 2 ticks on kind of what we look for in a course.
Okay. And what would you say has been sometimes there's some non-traditional things about golf that you implemented and it actually turned out to be a hit. Have you ran into anything like that?
I think what we're starting to do, we might even see it more in the regionals this year, is for the last 2 years of our Curry Cup, we've implemented a pro am or an am, as you can
Oh,
say, because nobody's
gotcha.
pros. We're all kind of amateurs,
Right,
amateurs.
right, right.
But it's just kind of a time where, like I said, with that buy-in with the course that we're at, they get their members, they get their executives, we get our partners to come out and play with the juniors. So we pair out one boy and one girl from our tour with 2 partners or someone from the course. And that's
Nice.
just 4 or 5 hours, just one-on-one time with them. And so
Okay.
I think we did it for the first time at Ridgewood 2 years ago, and that was a big hit. We had the president of Ridgewood actually play with Morgan Riley, and I forgot who the girl in that group was, but they
Yeah.
exchanged numbers at the end of the
Okay.
round. Like, so we're getting these kids
Connections.
face to face, exactly, connections.
Mhm.
Just like I said, with these C-suite individuals, like I said, the CEO of KPMG, big time with United, stuff like that. Like that's spending some good time, and like I said, we hope they take advantage of it. And kind of seeing after the first 2 years, they definitely do. And like I said, we're planning on doing that for years to come, and we might even implement it in one of our regionals this year too, and kind of see how that goes.
Okay, good, good, good. That allows the kids to build some relationships with corporate and CEOs and all kind of stuff. That's good.
Exactly.
So man, so we, the underrated tour, y'all have expanded to London and Scotland and places like that in Europe. What have you noticed is like some of the biggest differences in the US players and some players in Europe and overseas?
Yeah, I think it's what we've realized from both ends, from US and the European side, is kind of the difference in needs. I think over here in the States, you kind of have the needs of the access, kind of the expensive nature of the game. And I think over
Hmm.
there, it's just straight up kind of access to golf itself. So what we learned over there in Europe is like everything is team based. So like each country, each kind of territory has their own team. So England has a team, Wales has a team, federations like the French Federation, like they have their own team. And like if you're not one of
Wow.
the top juniors, then I mean, I don't know how you're playing. I mean, I'm still doing research myself, kind of see kind of what they're doing, but
Yeah.
also with their school schedule, they're so strict. I mean, you look at the underrated golf tour and probably all of junior golf. You got homeschool, they're missing school left and right, just kind of play golf, and they got to catch
Yes.
up, whatever that looks like. Over there, we thought it was the same thing, but they like their families get fined if they miss school and they don't have a really good reason.
What?
Like if it's not a family emergency or something like that, and you just miss school
Right.
to play a sport, like your family gets fined. So we have to actually look at weeks or like breaks, say their spring break or their summer break, which is not even as long as the states. And like we're like, oh, we have to have our event in that week, and we can't, veer off in any direction, because if we don't get that week, they're back in school, and now we're going to miss like half of our field. So kind of one cool thing that we've done is I think they call it a May term or something like that, where we've
Mhm.
kind of taken over that week. So for the past two
Okay.
years, and now they kind of know for the foreseeable future that hey, underrated will be that here that week, which is the last week of May. And so we're gonna take over that week. So keep your calendars clear. You might not know where we're going, but it will be that week every year.
Right. So that way they won't get in no trouble and miss school and stuff like that, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Good. So so when you look at Hamp, the graduating classes that have gone on to play in college now, what would you say is has been the most rewarding story, or where are they now? I mean, what's that been like?
I think all of our alumni have gone off to do some great things in college. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool thing about golf is, you could be middle of the pack in junior sports just because there's so many, avenues, so many kids out there playing, competing. But then you get to college and they kind of settle into what type of player they are and they start
Mhm.
flourishing, they start thriving. You start seeing them win tournaments. We've had a couple of juniors like the first, they never won a UGT event. Like they were up in the kind of top 10, top 15, and then they go to
Yeah.
their first two college events and they've won or finished top five in those. So that's pretty
Right.
cool. And I think kind of our main story that we like to run with too is the last 2 years, Southern University, their starting five has been full UGT for the boys, full UGT roster. And I think
Right.
that just kind of shows kind of what we're trying to do and kind of provide those opportunities and that access through college as well, and kind of seeing it flourish on a college level. And even now we have, I think, three more girls who are actually on the team as well. So, I mean, I'm not gonna say we're taking
Mhm.
over Southern University, but we have a big presence there. Howard as well. And also we're kind of
Yeah.
seeing some of our top juniors, kind of this class. I think this class might be one of our best classes that's about to graduate out. We got the Texas Techs, Texas,
Yeah.
Clemson, two people going to Clemson this next year too. So even the kids we already have in our pipeline right now, they're also about to go off and do some great things. But I think kind of that Southern aspect, that Howard aspect, where we kind of are taking over the team and they're performing really well in what they're doing. So I think that's pretty cool for us to say.
Yeah, I know John. John's at Howard. He misses the underrated tour. That was like some of his fun, best times in junior golf. Because he's a quiet kind of kid, but when he gets around 100 other juniors, he kind of loosens up a little bit,
I'm about to say he not quiet around me, so I hope he goes to Howard and keeps that same underrated energy. But nah, I mean, like I said,
Yeah,
great kid, and I think that's kind of a cool thing with our kids is we hear that all the time. Like, hey, for another junior tour, they go, they play golf, and they leave. And the fact that they're able to do the same thing here, compete, but also go back to the hotel, stay on the range for as many hours as we allow them, just kind of talk and have good social hour, and also compete and get better. I think that's a huge thing, kind of one complete package in one tour in one summer span.
good deal. Well, listen, man, this episode's been great. Before we get to our close, I got a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Okay,
Love it.
I'll take you back to your baseball days. So, would you rather relief pitch or manage events?
I mean, if we're talking about stress levels, I'd rather manage events. I mean, when you manage events, you got a whole team with you. When you're relief pitching, it's just you and the batter. And if you mess up, I mean, your whole team loses. So yeah, I'll go with the event management.
You go, okay, because you got to have some ice in your veins when you're out there pitching and stuff,
Yeah, it's
right?
definitely not for the weak.
All right, I know you've been playing a lot of golf lately, and I think I can take you. So when you come back over to the East Coast, just let me know because I'm only like an hour and a half from Charlotte. Okay, so
Hey, be
yeah, yeah.
careful. I'm getting better. Don't give me too long now. Don't give me too long.
So would you rather hit a 90? Would you rather pitch a 95-mile-an-hour fastball or a 300-yard drive?
I think now a 300-yard drive. I mean, you look at
Yeah.
baseball, everybody's throwing 95, so I'll just be another part of the pack. So I mean, not a lot of people are hitting at 300. At least at my, I would say, not even amateur. I think my everyday golfer stage. I think not a lot of people are hitting a 300-yard drive. So I'll take that.
Gotcha. Now, part of the underrated tour, everybody has this walkout song. What's your walkout song?
Well, luckily I had it in baseball, so I think I'm gonna keep it. My senior year, I had a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the theme song. So I mean,
Oh
that
yeah.
that got the crowd going. I mean, I felt like the man up there, so I'll probably keep that.
Okay, good deal. What's the one habit you still haven't been able to kick while working in golf?
I'd probably say delegating. I'm a big do it myself guy. If I don't see something done as fast as I want it to do, I'm just gonna be like, hey, screw it, I'm doing it. Just go do something else. Like kind of trusting the team is something I'm still trying to. They're a great team too. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just
Oh, no
I have
doubt.
my own
No doubt.
I kind of have my own ticking clock too. So if I see something needs to be done, instead of just kind of getting someone else involved, I'm gonna do it myself.
You do it. Right. All right. TPC or Liberty National?
Liberty National. I mean, you got the landscape, you got the skyline of New York, on
Yeah.
every tee shot, and that's just beautiful. So you kind of can't miss, and you love seeing that. So I'm going Liberty National.
Good, good. Now, when we were on the tour, y'all had I think y'all had these little radios or something like that. Would you prefer radio or text?
If we're talking about quickness,
Yeah,
radio.
radio.
But I mean, when you're on a golf course and it's loud, text message might be the best way to go.
Gotcha. One word to describe the underrated staff.
Determined. I mean, every
Mm,
day you show up, like I said, early hours. We're just determined to get the job done, no matter what it is, no matter what your task is and what your role is. We're always willing to step in and do something else if it needs to be done. So determined, I would say.
gotcha. Now, when we're on these tours, you have to get up kind of early. Y'all have to get to the course, set up, and all that good stuff. Would you prefer coffee or energy drink?
You know what's crazy? I don't drink any of them.
No, no.
I'm just
See,
I'm
it's
just a straight
natural.
vibes guy. Yeah. So I
Right,
mean, I don't
right.
like the taste of coffee. Energy drinks are cool, but like I said, I'm just a straight wake up, get to work, and the sun will wake me up eventually.
So you don't need none of that stuff, right?
Hopefully it
Good.
stays that way. We'll see.
All right, scouting new talent or scouting new venues.
New venues. I mean, ever since I've been in golf, I've been traveling. So the fact that I get to kind
Yeah,
of do that kind of for a living and see the different parts of the country, I love that aspect and kind of see what we're able to accomplish with that.
good, good. Describe underrated in one word.
Family. I think that's what
Mm.
everybody would say. I think if you ask them, family. I mean, we're a big happy family that cares about you, that loves you, that want to see you succeed, and we'll do anything that we can in our power to kind of make sure that you do.
And that's a fact. Well, Hamp, man, it's just been great. How can our listeners follow you on social media? How can they, if they want to, apply for the tour or maybe even a qualifier, how can they reach out to you guys?
Yeah, so keep following our socials at Underrated Golf. That's where we put out a lot of our information. Once the schedule is released in March, we'll open up kind of an open registration for our qualifiers, and that's open to anybody in the states, I would say. So if you guys have a junior between 12 and 18 that is looking to kind of get a new experience, kind of get some more resources under their belt, feel free to compete in a qualifier and kind of get out and compete, and we'll see you there. But I think that's the best way to kind of through our socials and Underrated Golf.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Hap, man. We appreciate you blessing us tonight. And hopefully, I think you got to remind Jay Rich that Jay Rich said he was going to kind of get the alumni together to maybe do some stuff this summer. You know.
I'll put a bug in his ear. See
Hey,
what that's
listen,
about.
hey, and they're excited about it too because they still talking about. I heard John talking to he was talking to one of the other UGT members, and he said, "Man, yeah, I really hope Underrated put something together for the alumni to come in, and do some stuff." So they
Yeah,
they
that'd be an
still
awesome
they still
opportunity.
excited about it.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for being on, Hamp. I'm sure we'll see you out on the course somewhere real soon. Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll make sure of it.
All right. Have a good one now.
See you, Earl. Yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to the Junior Golf Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We hope you enjoyed this new episode, and if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in this topic. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or on any of our social media networks. See you next week for a new